My name is Matthew Pathiel. Today we'll be discussing databases. In my presentation, we will be talking about what databases are, some of the history behind databases, and the emergence of programs and models that advance databases. So what exactly is a database? In the IT realm, it's often known as database management systems. DBMS is a user application and database interface designed to capture and analyze data. DBMS allows for the definition, creation, querying, update, and administration of databases. Over the course of the past 50 decades, numerous models of DBMS have become available to the public. Some of the many database models include navigational, hierarchical, network relationship, and entity relationship. In ancient times, databases consisted of plenty of written documents. However, during the 1960s, with the emergence of new computing era, databases had moved electronically. New DBMS models were being introduced. The most popular at the time was the navigational model. The navigational model records or objects are found primarily by following references from other objects. It also uses pointers and paths to navigate data records. The second model is the hierarchical model. The hierarchical model is a data model that organized in a tree-like structure. It was first created by IBM, and the data is stored as records, which are connected by links. The third model is network model. It provides the elasticity in representing objects and their relationships. It uses schemas that are not restricted. In these variety of models, we're able to create programs such as Codicil and IMS. Codicil stands for Conference Committee on Data Systems Language. It is the standard programming language, and the Codicil approach includes the use of a primary key, navigating sets relationships from one record to another, and scanning records sequentially. IMS stands for Information Management Systems. It differs from Codicil because it relied heavily on hierarchical model rather than the network model. The 1970s proved to be a renovation era for the navigational model. It was pioneered by Edgar Codd from IBM in San Jose, California. His goal was to work with large databases. In doing so, he created the relational model. The relational model is now one of the database standards. And with the model, data is organized in tables of columns and rows with a key that is unique for each row. Here, as we'll hear more later, SQL is the primary language used with all relational models. The entity relationship model was also introduced by Peter Chen in 1976. The data model, the ER model, is a data model that describes data and info on a business domain or its process requirements in an abstract way that lends itself to being used in a database. During the late 70s, 80s, and 90s, there was two prototypes being issued for relational system. The first was Ingres. It was the brainchild of the University of California in Berkeley, and the other one was known as SystemR. SystemR, a product of IBM, would be the template used to create a structured query language, also known as SQL. The emergence of a computer allowed for the transition between navigational models and the relational models. The internet allowed for the relational databases to skyrocket and be on the track on where it is today. Like I mentioned before, System R was the template used for creating this SQL. SQL stands for Standard Query Language, and it's a special purpose program language designed to manage data held in relational models. The SQL consists of data, definition, language data, manipulation language, and data control. It became the standard in 1986. In the beginning of the 20th century, new languages were emerging. In 1998, Carlos Strozzi was constructing the NoSQL, while others focused on the new SQL. The emergence of the NoSQL is not surprising. NoSQL arose out of the need for a language for enterprise databases. However, this does not replace the importance of SQL, and NoSQL does not necessarily mean it's better. NoSQL is very fast. It doesn't require field table schemas, store denormalized data, and scale horizontally. In essence, NoSQL now removes almost all the properties of what makes a relational database. So what does the industry look like today? There are over hundreds of DBMS companies that provide services. Some of the most common are Oracle and MySQL. The database field is continuing to advance and more improvement in the new future.